is great for singing, and what better group than the Hymn Society in the United States and Canada. We are commemorating and honoring, acknowledging, celebrating the 350th birthday of Isaac Watts. The black church, as I said in my plenary address today, referred to him as Dr. Watts. And it is so ironic. Carl Daw emailed me, I mentioned this morning, and told me, he said, Jimmy, this is fantastic that you would have this scheduled on July the 17th. And I'm like, yeah. And so he said, you do know that that is the actual birthday of Isaac Watts. So this is the birthday of Isaac Watts, July the 17th. So what better way in celebrating Isaac Watts, certainly in the black church, and we have claimed him. In fact, we've got some black folk that think Dr. Watts was from Mississippi and that he had been one of the early leaders and founders of the Baptist Church. But it's not quite so. I think you will be intrigued as we sing these hymns that were penned by Dr. Watts. The first, Come We That Love the Lord, join in a song with sweet accord. And we want you to join in a song with sweet accord. Now, let me just say this. These singers have been brought just to simply enable you. There's not going to be one choral selection on the program. Hymn concertato, so they get to sing some things in parts. But this program says you don't stop singing. So at this time, stand as you are able in body or spirit, and we will sing our first hymn, We're Marching to Zion, found on page 2.
Good morning. Welcome to this month's edition of Coffee and Hymns. That was a hymn festival from our 2024 conference at Emory University. That particular festival was the closing festival led by Dr. Jimmy Abbington at his church that he served for many, many years, Friendship Baptist Church in Atlanta, Georgia. And I wanted to share that one with you because it's a wonderful example of the two things that Jimmy just loved to do, and that was to teach and then to lead singing from the organ or piano or whatever keyboard he could find. And I just know that moment was full of a lot of joy, and he loved the Hymn Society very dearly, and the Hymn Society loved him right back. So he will be missed. So I wanted to share that with you. To start off this broadcast, we've lost two very, very special Hymn Society members over the last month. Dr. Abbington's certainly one of them, and his funeral service was on Saturday in Atlanta. It's worth watching the whole thing. It's about 3.5 hours long, but it's certainly worth watching. You can Google his name and funeral, and there's a Vimeo link from the funeral home. Just the testimonies about his life and witness and work are really touching, really moving. So yeah, you'll be missed, Jimmy. I mean, we love you. The other person that we lost, who was very different from Dr. Abbington, but equally full of love and kindness and a servant heart, and she was a tune writer. Iteke Prins passed away. She got to attend our conference this past summer digitally because she had already started to have some serious health problems, but she was still there in her hospital bed. She tuned in, and we got to see her over the screen while we were in Detroit. She was a lovely tune writer, a career nurse. She loved her family, and she wrote some beautiful tunes and worked with a lot of the text writers within the Hymn Society as well. Not a lot of her things were published outside of her own collections, but she did have one tune make it into Psalms for All Seasons, and it is one of her better tunes, I think. And so I couldn't find a recording of it in particular, so I just made a recording of the tune with my own piano rendition. I didn't play it as written on the piano part, but I did sing it as written. And so the text is a setting of Psalm 19. And the text is by Richard Leach, who was a longtime collaborator with Iteke. And this text and tune were both published in 2006 and can be found at 19F in Psalms for All Seasons, which, if you don't have Psalms for All Seasons, it's not a new book at this point. I would imagine it's more than 10 years old. I'm not exactly sure of the year it was published, but it's been around for a while. It is still just one of my go-to resources for all things psalmody. It's just so well put together, so easy to navigate, and then the contents of it are just wonderfully diverse, wonderfully singable, and just such a vital resource. So thanks to the Calvin Institute of Christian Worship for putting that together. And so, the tune that Iteke wrote for this is called Silent Voices, which is also the first line of the hymn, Silent Voices, Unheard Voices. And so here is, I'll share a PDF that I scanned because I couldn't find anything online from it. So here is the PDF, and I'll actually make it full screen for you, and that way you can see my wife there. That way you can see it a little larger, I think. We'll zoom in just a little bit. There you go, and then I'll scroll. So I hope you enjoy this Silent Voices, tuned by Iteke Prins.
Silent voices, unheard voices, day to day and night to night. Sun and blue sky, stars in black sky, singing, speaking, telling light. Everything that God has made tells His glory, tells His glory. Human voices, well-loved voices, tell again what they were told. Laws, decrees, precepts, commandments, next to these what good is gold? Everything the Lord has said, sweet as honey, sweet as honey. Light from nature, light from scripture, yet the heart sings broken songs. Shine your grace into our shadows, saving us from hidden wrongs. Let our daily lives, O Lord, tell your glory, tell your glory.
It's a really lovely tune. Great text. Just, it's one of those texts that it has a lot of, it feels familiar, but when you look at it and you look at the words and there's a lot of unexpected things in the text. And yet it never trips you up. And so I love that from Richard. And then I think the tune is lovely. I'll share this again. So, where it goes up, black sky singing, speaking, telling light, or next to these what good is gold, saving us from hidden wrongs. So the tune really captures the peak of the text in each stanza, and then resolves really beautifully. I also love at the end, I don't know if Richard wrote the text to repeat at the end, that last line each time, or if Iteke wrote the tune that way and so it necessitated that. But I always enjoy that, or I enjoy that a lot in texts when you get to repeat the last line, because it gives it a sense of, it gives the singer a chance to reflect on what they're singing a little bit more. And so it's kind of like the denouement of the hymn. It just allows you to really reflect on what you've sung in that stanza, and then it feels more conclusive. So I just think it's a lovely setting all around. So I highly commend that one to you. And Iteke, you are loved, and Iteke loved the Hymn Society, and the Hymn Society loved her right back. And that's the thing I've loved about the Hymn Society. I've been I've been on staff for over 10 years now, but I was involved well before then. It's over 15 years, probably approaching 20, as I get older and older and older, and my bald spot gets bigger and bigger and bigger. The thing I've loved about the Hymn Society is that there are these people who are just wonderful at what they do. I mean, they're really good. I mean, we have had Dr. Abbington and Iteke, and all these people who are faithful to God and who are masters of their craft. But then they show up and they're ready to serve. They'll say, how can I help? What does the hymn society need to thrive? And they look out for each other. And it really is a community, not just a professional organization. And I love that. I love that about the Hymn Society. So I'm really blessed to have known both of them. And thank you for allowing me to wax poetic about it for 18 minutes here on Coffee and Hymns. This weekend, I leave the country. I'm going to Egypt as a part of a program with the World Council of Churches, doing a graduate certificate in ecumenical theology. And one of the great things about this graduate certificate is it was online learning for a month with a cohort. And then we're all meeting in Egypt for a week of learning together. And then a week being at the meeting of the Commission on Faith and Order, which actually predates the World Council of Churches. Now it's a part of the World Council of Churches, but that Commission on Faith and Order predates the World Council and was a part of helping to create the World Council of Churches. So it has met multiple times, I think 6 or 7 times. This might be the 7th meeting of the Commission on Faith and Order. And they do really important work trying to find places of convergence across Christian traditions. Where do we agree? And in the places that we disagree, how can we find ways to talk about our faith and express our beliefs, though they may be different, in ways that bring glory to God by finding unity through Christ? So it should be a really engaging time. It's being hosted at the Coptic Pope's compound facility called the Logos Papal Center outside of Cairo. So, pray for me, pray for my family as I'm gone. And when Coffee and Hymns shows up next month, I'll be fresh back from that experience, and I'll look forward to sharing those experiences with you and maybe some of the songs that we sang. So I hope you enjoy this edition of Coffee and Hymns. Happy fall. Hope you're getting some good fall weather, and I will see you all in November. Bye-bye.